Hi, my name is Karry with AutoSuccess TV. I'm sitting here today with the founder and CEO of Dealer Synergy, Sean B. Bradley. Hey Sean, how are you doing today?
Awesome.
Hey Sean, let me ask you the first question. How did you get involved in the automotive industry?
Well, I've been in the automotive industry for a little over 9 years, but before I got into the automotive industry, I went to college at Rider University. I was actually a Russian major and a cultural anthropology minor. I was in the Army ROTC, I was in the reserves, and long story short, I needed a job and I didn't have any transportation, so I got a job at a car dealership because they gave me a free car.
Really, a free car?
Demo, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So when you got involved in it, did you automatically start out in sales, or what position did you start out in?
Yeah, when I first started out at the dealership, I was on the showroom floor. And the first month, I was a salesman of the month, and then, I got dumped into the internet department because back then, over 9.5 years ago almost now, people really didn't understand the internet. As a matter of fact, Mazda manufacturer used to give me the internet leads through a fax. So I kind of had a lot of success. I quickly started selling about 25, 30 units a month. Then from there, I became salesman of the year, and so goes the story.
So you've had great success in the automotive industry.
Tremendous success.
So having that success in the automotive industry and being able to sell that many units, what would make you leave that and start your own business?
Economics. Quite frankly, I was making the dealer principal roughly about $2.5 to $3 million a year. Now, I was well compensated. However, I wasn't making anywhere near $2.5, $3 million a year. So I decided to roll the dice and start my own company.
And obviously, that's gone well.
Yes, well, Dealer Synergy is one of my companies. The Dealer Synergy is in the multi-million-dollar category now.
So obviously you've had so much success with Dealer Synergy, but what are some of the things that you're most proud of, like some of your biggest accomplishments as it relates to Dealer Synergy?
Well, there's two ways I'm going to answer that. First, the thing that I'm most proud of, obviously, is definitely our client success. We had tremendous amount of success taking dealership after dealership, from doing a little bit of units or no units to hundreds of units a month on the internet. I'm going to reference a couple of those dealers. We took a dealership called Nelson Mazda out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, from doing 7 units a month out of a single point Mazda dealership to over 80 units a month on the internet. Lindsay Toscano is the BDC director. She was on the cover of Digital Dealer magazine February 2007. She also was interviewed by Dealix as well as Cars Direct for her success, and she won the AAISP's Most Improved Dealership of the Year award. That's the Association of Automotive Internet Sales Professionals. Another dealer that also received national recognition was Peruzzi Toyota. We helped take a single-point Toyota dealership from Hatfield, Pennsylvania, from doing roughly about 37 units a month to over 110 units a month over the internet. A couple other dealers, we've got Crown Ford from Nashville, Tennessee. Within 4 months, we took that dealership from doing, again, about 10 units a month to over 65. So that's just a couple of our success stories for our dealers. But for Dealer Synergy and myself, currently I write for about 9 different magazines, and I speak at every major national event for internet sales and BDC. But the absolute most significant accomplishment for us is getting the endorsement and the relationships with companies or associations like NADA and NCM. I just recently came off tour. In the last 7 months, I've spoken at over 3820 groups between NADA and NCM, and I also was the creator of NCM's highly acclaimed Internet Sales Boot Camp, which I just did 3 of those in the last 7 months as well.
Obviously, I mean, you're getting a ton of exposure. You're now nationally recognized as one of the top internet sales trainers for the automotive industry. In your opinion, where do you think that this automotive industry, as far as it relates to the internet, where are they at today?
I still honestly think that they're in their fledgling stages, which, to me, there's so much growth opportunity. Dealership after dealership, 20 group after 20 group, is the same thing. Like, they're like, oh, what do we do? Where do we get started? How do we do this? What are the products that we need? How do we set up those products? Who are going to run the departments? Pay plans. A lot of dealerships still just don't know where to even begin. Now, what baffles me is that I've been doing this for 9.5 years, and these multi-million-dollar businesses are just getting started. So that's pretty much where I see the situation right now.
Okay, so I mean, in 2008, so what you're telling me is in 2008, you still run into dealerships that don't even really have an internet presence.
Yes, and let me take it a step further. I just wrote an article that's actually being published in AutoSuccess magazine this month, where I talk about some basic facts. You got 87 to 97% of America, before they ever step foot in a dealership, they go on the internet. You're looking at a window period between 45 to 90 days that they're just doing research all over the internet. On top of that, let's just forget about the car business for a moment. Let's focus on some other, stats. There's over 211 million people registered for MySpace. Match.com boasts that almost 500,000 people a year find their husband or wife on that website. You look at the city of San Diego that gives free internet, high-speed broadband access to its 2.8 million residents. So yes, with all this evolution of the internet, the CNN partnering with YouTube to give presidential candidate debates through YouTube, the world is going towards digital communication, video communication, and yes, the dealerships still to this day rather turn around and do a direct mail spot or still try to figure out other ways other than what's right there in front of them.
Gosh, that's funny because I get direct mail all the time with advertisements, and quite honestly, I don't even look at it anymore. It seems like it's too much of an intrusive ad system anymore. If I want to find it, I know where to go, and that's generally on the internet.
It's funny you mention that. I'm going to take a different spin instead of just direct mail. I was talking to a dealer just the other day that said, Sean, I had this little epiphany. Every one of my cars that I sell has satellite radio, and all I advertise was on radio. I was like, well, wait a minute, if you don't even sell a car that doesn't have satellite radio, why would you advertise on radio? And he's like, exactly.
That's funny. Where do you think the future of this industry is going to go, especially with the internet and now that these dealers are starting to recognize that yes, in fact, you can sell cars on the internet and it's actually a viable business and a viable medium for advertising? Where do you think the future is going to go?
Well, I definitely see that the evolution of dealerships is going to be internet sales. Since right now, almost every single person that walks on a lot is an internet customer, I think that in the future, in the near future, there's going to be less and less internet departments, so to speak, and more internet dealerships, meaning every salesperson is going to be cross-trained and certified to handle internet sales customers. So that's the first thing. And on the marketing side, I see a tremendous shift of conventional media from radio, TV, print that's going to get pushed towards internet. Now here's a couple other stats. This is from the most recent J.D. Power information, is that you have an average closing ratio of about 6% for manufacturer leads. You've got about an 8% closing ratio for third-party provider leads, and you've got about a 16% closing ratio for your dealership website. So it's going to make a tremendous amount of sense to steer traffic to your website. And the most popular, way to steer traffic to your website is either through search engine optimization or search engine marketing. And right now, the absolute most incredible thing I've even heard of or seen is what's called video search engine optimization.
Really, what's that?
Well, basically, instead of going onto the internet and going to a search engine like Google and having to type in, let's say, Ford dealership in Philadelphia and just getting some static links, what you're able to return now is actual videos. If your dealership is part of a video search campaign, they could put video testimonials of their happy customers. So let me walk you through this. You go to google.com, type in the words Ford dealership in Philadelphia, and what could return on the very first page of Google is actually video testimonials of your happy customers telling your story. And I'll give you one better than that, Karry. Aggressive dealerships are taking advantage of a package called competition annihilation, where let's say if you're that Ford dealership, let's say you're Karry Ford, your competition happens to be Bradley Ford. Right. You could actually make it that when somebody types in Bradley Ford or Ford dealership in Philadelphia, Karry Ford's video testimonials of your happy customers show up. How aggressive is that?
Wow, that sounds great. Wow, lots of valuable information today from Sean B. Bradley, Automotive Internet Sales Trainer from Dealer Synergy. We want to thank you for joining us, and a special thanks to Sean. If you'd like to get in touch with Sean, please go to dealersynergy.com. Sean, thanks again.
My pleasure being here.
I'm Karry Moore, and this is AutoSuccess TV.